Hi, everyone. Welcome to this Learning Facilitator Q&A session with Muafek Ayadi. We're going to go ahead and let MK speak to us about the capstone project, and then he will take questions that you have. The session is being recorded for those who cannot attend. So just to let you know, if you answer or ask a question, whether you turn the camera on or do it in chat, that you will be in the recording. We did originally say 30 minutes with MK and then 30 minutes for networking session, but if there are enough questions to go beyond those 30 minutes, we'll continue with the questions and then we'll see how much time we have left for breakout session time for those who want it. So MK, I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, everyone, to the Q&A session. I will start by talking about the capstone project. I think you have done the M1, M2, Module 1, Module 2 assignments already. So I'm going to start from Module 3 until Module 6. I will try to explain the whole picture behind the capstone project and the final deliverable result that you should have. And that will not take much of time. I think it will be 10 minutes to 15 minutes. And you have the freedom to open your mic anytime you want and ask me any question you want. So please do not be discouraged, and you will not interrupt me. This session is for you. So if you are comfortable with opening your mics, that will be fine. If you are comfortable with sending a message in the chat, I will try to keep an eye on that. So let's begin with Module 1 briefly. So in Module 1, you were asked to find 3 to 5 challenges, leadership-related challenges for you to keep on working for the rest of the program. And in Module 2, you have identified one of them that you need to tackle: the leadership aspect challenges and the AI aspect challenges. In Module 3, I will go question by question and try to give you what we are expecting as learning facilitators to see in your submissions. A good thing Vishal is with us. Hi, Vishal. If I'm missing something or you want to add something, please feel free to speak up. Okay.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you, Vishal. So let's start. After finding the challenge that you want to solve for the rest of the program, the Module 3 capstone project, first question is a leadership challenge to address. The challenge can be at the organizational or team level. So you can open your learning platform and follow with me. Otherwise, like I can just, you can follow me talking. So the challenges usually, so you have read about the internal and external stakeholders. You know that the challenges not only arise from within the organization, but it can be a challenge outside of the organization. And you need to identify that for your own challenge. So in here, I will be giving examples, broad examples, but you need in your assignment to give a tailored solution, a tailored view for your own leadership AI challenge. So some AI challenges are more technical. How should I find, for example, how should I build autonomous vehicles? This is more of a technical part at the beginning. But then when you scale down your autonomous vehicle company, for example, it will be at the organizational level. How are you going to keep up with the supply chain? How are you going to keep up with customers? And in here, in this question, I know it's just 100 words to answer it. You can be brief about your ideas, but you can show that what you are tackling is just not from a technical side. It can evolve to be more of organizational or management side. And then after that, we have other questions. What specific tool will help you move forward in addressing the challenge, and how? So depending on the challenge that you are having, you will have different tools. So every group will have different tools, and we are expecting you as learning facilitators to name them. If you do not have a tech background, and it will not be that easy, but that's part of the program. The program is not easy, and the content is not 100% enough. So you need to make your own research to find, for example, the specific tool for you to solve the challenge. I have given the example of agriculture. You have a farm and you have fruits, and you need to keep track down which fruits are in healthy shape. And for that, if you hire like farmers, that will be expensive for you, except you can like buy 3 to 4 drones, put a computer vision program in those, and like detect which fruits are in good health or not. And even with image detection example in here, you can detect even the disease. So we see this is an agriculture example. Still, you can apply AI, but it's going to be really different from having an autonomous vehicle AI company. Then we have, what process do you need to redesign or change? So sometimes within a company, at least for the company to keep up with the changes, you need to change the process you are doing things. And one of the things that happened with Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, he have outsourced many Apple jobs and positions and even research to China. And then he played a lot of politics. Steve Jobs did not do that. And many financial analysts I'm following on several channels, they are saying, if Steve Jobs have stayed at Apple at that time, it will not succeed because he was not flexible. He was a great leader, an aspiring leader, but he did not have the flexibility as a leader to redesign the process to be more modern and like try to keep up Apple at the top. People are saying Tim Cook is more of an open guy. He's more into politics, and that's what made Apple thrive during the Donald Trump reign. So when we are thinking about the processes, it's not only managerial, it's not only technical, it can be politics in itself, especially if you are in a big organization. Well, of course, these are mere examples. You need to tailor your answers according to the challenge you are solving. Then we have, who are the people you need and what skills they should have. This also really depends on what you are solving. For me, for example, I work for investment banks, and we usually, within the teams, we will find people with PhDs in mathematics, people who are have more solid grasp on machine learning, like the technical aspect. Some people are better on the theoretical aspects, and you have like people who know how to manage a research project. This is where most people fail to understand about AI. You are not like managing a simple software. A software, there is not a lot of research mathematics about it, but like when we are talking about artificial intelligence, we need somebody with a mind flexibility to be able to grasp the theoretical aspects and put them into place. So who are the people you need? You need people from different backgrounds to make that happen, especially if you are dealing with financial instruments, for example, or if you are doing research in physics. You need people who can understand those kind of things. You can't lead a team of physicists who are trying to use AI, for example, without like understanding what physics is and what they are doing. But when I'm talking about understanding the business behind the AI, it does not mean you need to be like a fully fluent, for example, in physics to give a specific answer, but to have the feel of it, and like that will distinguish you as a leader, and that will give you respect in your own organization. And I have experienced that when some managers that will just came and try to manage, but do you really understand the instruments we are working with, or do you really understand the business we are in? It's not just because you are a great leader in another organization, you can just make a shift and lead again. So the people you need, and here we are expecting answers with arguments, why you need that person, why you need that exact machine learning engineer, or Or do you really need a machine learning engineer? Why not a deep learning or a reinforcement learning engineer? Those are different descriptions. For the other question, what technology would be helpful? In here, like, I advise you always to go back to the cloud services. Cloud services have a plethora of technologies, and like you can use them. Some of them does not cost much. Some of them cost a lot, and most of them will address most common business use cases. If you want to have a tailored and customized service or a tool, you can build it yourself, but also preferably using cloud technologies. I'm taking a lot of time about module 3 because actually that was module, no, that was like more of a module 5. But why I'm taking much time with this module, because it has the hardest questions. This is what you need to reach after a couple of weeks. For module 3, like specifics, you can just go back to the video posted by Kathy. I was explaining what you need to do in that, and you need to build up your answers to reach the module 5 and 6 when you will have deliverable results. It will show your understanding of what you have experienced throughout the program. So my focus will be more on module 5 and 6. But for module 3, the questions are simple. How can a leader or multiple leaders help with the challenge? And the rest of those questions, you can find them on the video of this week. Now, let's go back a little bit to module 4. And in module 4, it's not one of the hard modules. Actually, the hardest will be like module 5 and module 6. Module 6 will recapitalize everything. And let's go back a little bit for module 4. To successfully implement your group chosen tool, what might individual leaders have to do? In here, by saying what might individual leaders have to do, we are not talking about leaders can be from within the organization and outside of the organization, internal and external stakeholders. But the question is more specific about the leaders of the internal organization. What should they do with the resources they are doing? Once again, it really depends on the situation you are in. So now in politics, we are seeing a lot of people who are trying to be elected on a regional or a country level to be presidents for something, and they are heavily relying on analytics. If you go to a consultancy company that are using AI to help elect those officials, you need to have a leader that have a sense of politics. You need to have a leader that knows how to communicate with high-profile individuals. And you need to have a leader that also understands technology and knows which and which not models they will go to. He will probably be fluent in NLP, natural language processing, because you will be processing a lot of textual data. And that's the kind of answer we are looking for. Because if you are saying, okay, let's focus on statistically trying to figure out which ads will work for this campaign or which not, those are like the traditional tool. Now you can use computer vision to analyze the different people who are trying to get elected. You can see their apply facial recognition on them. You see when they sweat, when they are stressed, when they are overwhelmed, and compare them with the sentences they are saying, and give a whole psychological analysis using only NLP and computer vision, and it's going to be cutting edge, and you will know your opponent like weaknesses and strengths, when he's honest about that point and he's not honest about that point. So that's what an individual leader in a consultancy company dedicated into the politics realm will have like as a specialty, and it will differentiate him from another AI leader in another organization tackling other challenges. For the rest of the question, how might someone's leadership signature influence their choices? I think I already given the example of Steve Jobs and Tim Cook, and in the beginning of the program, I have given the example of Elon Musk. What would teams have to do? This is what would teams have to do? So the teams in here, they respond to leadership. If you are a kind leader, people will go the extra mile for you. But kindness and listening is not enough. They need to trust you. And how they can trust you is simply when you demonstrate your deep understanding of the tech and business side. And this is what we actually, as AI engineers, see every day. You cannot put your trust in a manager just because he's a manager. So what would teams have to do? Teams need to communicate with their own leaders, and they need to be honest with them. It's okay for teams to go to the leader or the manager and say, you are not a good fit for us. The team need to be a good fit for the leader, and the leader need to be a good fit for the team. So in here, it's more of the communication side. And of course, the teams need to develop their skills. It's not in AI, the projects are not generic. Each different project will have different challenges, and they need to learn and adapt. So most of the time, for me and for my fellow AI colleagues, we need to be on trainings like each month, or maybe for other colleagues, 1 in 3 months, or on a semester basis or yearly basis. So the teams need to evolve. You are not coding Java every day. Java has been Java for like a long time. C# have been C# or maybe C and C++. They are evolving, but the evolution is really small. We cannot even call it a training, but for AI is really different. The last question in module 4, what can leaders or teams make sure AI is accepted and provides the tool to perform tasks differently? Like we are seeing the whole module 1, 2, 3, and 4, all the questions converge in module 5. In module 6, it will go back and ask you questions about all of these previous modules. So the last question for M4 is, what can leaders do to make sure AI is accepted? You need to reassure your team that AI will not take their job. It actually will enhance their performance. This is the biggest argument when you have people in your own organization freaking out about AI. Is it going to take my job? Is it going to replace me? It's actually a way to be more productive. And there are tasks who are really repetitive and sometimes kind of boring. They will be, in some cases, eliminated, and it will give room to the team to be more creative and find something more suitable for them, more dynamic and agile. Now for the tools, I'm seeing a lot of companies not investing to buy good tools, and that is not smart. A leader should be open to suggestions from the tech side. It's not because like you have today you have a good cloud service, you need to always stuck with that cloud service. You can change it. You can change the hardware, you can change the software. And in here, I advise you to check. So when you are trying to make a decision, the 3 biggest cloud vendors are Microsoft with Microsoft Azure, Google with Google Cloud Platform, and Amazon with AWS. Try to benchmark the same service in each of these major 3 cloud providers and compare it to your own tech stack. See what you have in your tech stack and which cloud services that will be suitable to make you shift and use those cloud services. But if you use it for 1 or 2 years, that does not mean that you need to be stuck with only one cloud vendor. You will run into vendor locks. For that, try to diversify, try to hybrid cloud to build and design your AI solution. Now I'm gonna, from M4, I'm gonna jump to M6, which is model 6. And in model 6, it will recapitalize everything. It will ask you similar questions to what you have experienced in the previous 5 models. And it will be like your AI leadership blueprint for your own organization. It will start by asking you a leadership challenge to address. The challenge can be at the organizational or team level. A solution to the specific tool, the key stakeholders, the data collection, the regulatory compliance, the implementation of the strategy. And this is why I focused on the M5, Module 5 weekly capstone project. So during these 6 modules and during this program, we have seen before that some groups can start with a challenge and they start to answer the capstone project questions, but throughout the program they forget from where they have started. So please, the idea that you have chosen for module 2, keep working on the idea until the end of the program. When you give answers, try to make those answers tailored to your specific challenge that you have chosen. Because after 6 modules, you will have like a blueprint that answers what you need for you as a leader in your own organization. It's like it's going to be your strategy for your own organization to follow. And if you are building a startup or something, it will be the blueprint for your AI leadership startup. This is the point of the program. And like I said, you need to research specific aspects that are specific to your challenge. And me and Vishal, we are here to answer all of your questions. And if you have something topical you want to discuss, you are not sure, you want to have other people's opinion about it, please post it on the town square. And we will try to interact with you and see if people are coming around to give their opinion. I saw that happening during this program, and it's like people having some topical points and everybody joined like to give their opinion. That will really help you, whether it is for your own group challenge or your current position and the current challenges that you are having in your own organization. So that's it for me. That's what I want to say about different modules questions. I did not go through all of them. I focused on the major points. And now it's time for you like to tell me all your questions, and I will be happy to answer them. Meanwhile, Vishal, if you prefer to answer a specific question, please also just open your mic and tell me basically to shut up, and you can like answer it. Okay.
All good. So Sangeeta raised a point about tools. So Sangeeta, if you could talk about what specific use case you're referring to here, we can help you.
So
Yeah, sure.
the project that we have chosen is the problems that patients are facing in countries like India, okay, where they need a lot of medical attention, and in terms of first, are they getting good medical attention, and then what is their experience? So this is one of the problems that we have taken in our project, capstone project. So I was just, of course, we have to develop it further, but it seems to be, to me, a very, very, the scope seems to be very big. So I don't know how to scope it, and then what type of tools we have to use for that.
I think I will give the word to Vishal. Vishal, what do you think about this use case?
So it's more to do with the medical diagnostic here. So though I have not worked in this industry, but there are a few tools in the market which would help you do the diagnostic in terms of the medical issue. Maybe Mofak, if you want to add something on the tools here.
Yeah, so one of the biggest technologies in AI field in the healthcare and related aspect is Spark NLP. Spark NLP have a lot of built-in, they have pre-trained models to tackle most of healthcare related subjects. And I advise you to go and check them. The list is too big. Personally, I have worked with a startup in UK, and they are working with the clinical trials data. And I find it really useful to explore Spark NLP. I will Google it right now and post the link in the chat. Meanwhile, if you have another specific question about it, I will be happy to assist you.
Okay, thanks, but not really right now.
Okay.
Muafeq, can I also ask a quick question? I know we're almost out of time.
Oh, no, it's okay. We can go up to 1 hour. So please, guys, take your time.
Could you advise on any predictive strategy modeling in prioritization and decision-making in leadership circles in terms of comparative analysis for different approaches using AI predictively to gain more information based on assumptions on the organization, on the product, on what we're trying to do. So feeding assumptions, feeding leadership challenges that we are aware of, and then plugging in an approach and predictively coming back to it and saying, okay, the risks here are actually more than we thought based on past performance or market data.
Oh.
You're frozen.
Okay, can you? Oh, okay. I think the Wi-Fi disconnect. So I said, can you please give me a specific example of the data so I can like assist you better with your question?
I can't. So for now, we're really high level in terms of helping leadership to predictively choose priorities that are lower risk. Basically, instead of sitting in a room and saying, what do you think we should do? Should we do this way or that way? And our brains analyzing those risks based on our own knowledge, based on our own research, feeding it in. I don't know if such a thing exists. Feeding it into a platform that it churns kind of risk levels based on machine learning.
It should be, and if it does not exist as a tool, you can definitely create it, but the biggest challenge is to understand the data that you have in hand. So Sanjita, I think, hopefully I'm not pronouncing your name wrong way. She like give us an example without giving us the data. I know in her domain, Spark NLP from the John Snow Labs company can solve many of our questions, but Karen, for your specific use case, I don't think there is like a generic libraries that can do that. That's why I was like more specific with you, because like I need to know what exactly the data is to recommend something. But from what I have understood, it's more of a customized solution, and it's more likely you need to build a custom neural network from scratch. Because if it's like a decision help system for your own executives and leaders, they will probably ask for specific things. You will not find a generic solution, but you can definitely, based on the data, you can build one for you.
Got it. I thank you for that. That's very, very helpful. I think in my mind, at least, it's pretty applicable. It can be applied to this class, right? So if you are MIT and you're trying to figure out what's the optimum number of teams, what does the data tell us? How many weeks did it take for teams to get together for a meeting? How much are we spending on you guys to advise the groups? Why can't we do smaller groups? Are we getting patented things out of 3 people versus 6 people? Instead of trying it out, this platform would help you pivot quicker based on 5 such leader. I'm talking too much. I mean, that's kind of the idea.
It's
So to
perfectly
add
fine.
to what Mofak just said, Karen, there's a tool which is very, very new in the market called S2O driverless. Maybe you can Google about it. It's more to do with the
Krish, can you say
predictive
it again? I'm sorry.
H2O.
Oh,
H2O,
H2O, yeah.
yeah. So
Another one.
that does more of a predictive analytics.
Yeah.
It's definitely an open source at this moment, but that can definitely help you resolve your productivity. But when it comes to prioritization, maybe it's still working on that, but definitely on predictive analytics. Also, IBM Watson, it's doing great. You can look at exploring that option as well.
Yeah,
Super helpful.
I have posted the link H2O
Yeah, this is the one.
on the chat. Yeah. That company have a lot of products and you need to browse through most of their products, but I'm sure you're gonna find something. But if you have like leaders who have like their own specific data, you probably need to use to build your own model, but still feasible. For the rest of the questions, now we still have like half an hour, so please take your time, but just a notice that I should say at the beginning, tell us more about your data. It's not for all use cases where we can answer questions with a magic library that can solve it. But if we know more about the data you are handling, like we can give you better recommendations. Sambit, if I pronounce somebody's name incorrectly, please correct me on the spot. So please, Sambit, go ahead.
Yeah, that's perfect. Sambit. Yeah.
Sambit. Okay.
All right. So we were working on now in a group. We have decided to come up with a challenge in terms of communication in a product development environment, and how AI can be implemented to efficiently use communication between different team members or different stakeholders in that environment. Now, there are a couple of things. One is that how can we is there any tool, first of all, to, for example, that we have established a communication platform like Microsoft Team or something. Is there any tool?
Let's go back.
Yeah.
I think you have frozen for a little bit, Sambit, or maybe it's my connection. But can you please tell me more about the data that you are handling, and I'll try to help you.
So the data we are handling, so now we have, our project is that how we can implement a good communication strategy in a product development environment, right? Through the use of AI, right? So in terms of data, I don't know, it's more of a workflow. Now we have came up with a workflow that this is how team members will be, and this is how they will communicate with each other, and this is a platform. Right now, how we can use AI to improve that communication between team members, and how we can overcome, make it more efficient, the whole communication process within a product development environment. Now, the challenge that we have came across is one of the things that the quality of communication, right? Now, that is a very subjective thing. Now we can use AI to, determine the modes of communication between the team member, or at which time and what, according to the urgency or case-to-case basis and stuff like that. But how can we monitor the quality of communication in terms of whether this communication is on point and what the communication is all about? Can we use AI, or is there any tool currently out there to monitor that?
Okay, thank you for your question, Sambit. I will say there is no magic tools for all use cases, and from what I have understood, you need a hybrid system, a system where you can analyze the logs data. So you have a team and you need to keep track of their logs. So your first challenge is to have approval for that. The team need to approve that they will be monitored for you, like to build the system around their personal activities data, and then like you might have a result. So the challenge I'm seeing for you, the bigger thing is like the privacy thing. But is there a tool on the market that can directly address that? I don't think so, because like most companies worry about data protection, and it's right. But what you can have, it's like the same suggestion from Vishal is H2O. They have some productivity tools. They are backed by AI. For now, like Vishal said, it's open source. You need like to have a tech savvy guy to go through how they build the open source thing and see if it's a good fit for your own product or not. But I know other companies like AirFocus in Germany. AirFocus, they are working on their productivity product. They have some AI to it, but I can advise you, like a lot of companies, they are advertising their tools as AI-backed products. The good thing about H2O, at least it's open source, you can verify some aspects, but many other companies are not. And I know in Paris, there is a new company, the founder is from Google. He was the head of Google News, and he sold the company to Google, and now he's building an productivity tool. But most of them, they analyze the logs, and they will use time series algorithms to determine the productivity of the team. So if you are building something from scratch, I will advise like going for somebody who knows how to do time series and sequence modeling. That's what I usually do for the financial instruments. I can name through algorithms like RNN, LSTM, BLSTM. You can also use variational autoencoders. You can use GRUs if you have logs data. But I cannot be super specific about my answer giving the short time. So I want to thank you for your question, and hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah, it did, and it goes back to the ethical aspect of AI, in a way, because so that's what my first question was. I've written it down in my chat.
We will try to give room to other people to ask their question, and for us now we have Rama. So Rama, please let us know about your questions.
Yep, Vishal Mafak. Thank you for the guidance so far. My question is around, so our problem at a very high level is wanting to use AI to improve, to reduce the amount of time people spend summarizing meeting minutes in a given project. So we want to take a project and all the meetings that happen in pockets of different areas within the company, they come together, and AI is acting like an assistant of the project, summarizing everything and prioritizing and highlighting the roadblocks that are being discussed and the ideas that are popping up for a given project in a meeting. So our data is everything that happens in a meeting, literally in all projects for a given project. All the meetings that happen, it could be a marketing meeting, it could be a sales meeting, it could be a development style meeting, it could be a design meeting, it could be a project timelines, finance related meeting. Because there's organizations so big, sometimes tend to have meetings in pockets, and the context is lost right after that meeting. Even in this meeting, I'm not here typing every single thing you're saying, even though I know the things that you are saying are important and would help me long term, right? So the idea is that when meetings about certain projects happen, the AI is behind the scenes, not watching over what people are doing or how they're engaged. It's watching over the ideas they're presenting. It's watching over the timelines. They're worried about somebody saying, hey, this might become a problem. And then it starts to auto prioritize to improve the velocity of the team for its delivery on the project. And the high level objective for the executive is the executive now doesn't have to step in the middle and say, hey, give me an update. What happened in the last 2 months about this project or whatever? I will get more statistically based analysis from this assistant, and I can make predictions on resource capacity changes or budgeting changes, or maybe I have to communicate to the clients that there might be a possible delay due to an unexpected roadblock that seems to take higher priority in the process. So our data is literally what people are talking about the project in the meetings.
Yeah, I understand what you are saying. This is not a typical AI challenge, so I need to have a moment and think about it. But I think it's smart to highlight the fact that your data is a spoken data during meetings, and then you need to analyze it. Maybe I can say,
Plus, I want to hold the context, right? I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Plus, I want to hold the context, right? So because it's not like everything about the project is discussed in one meeting, right? Assuming there's like 75 meetings in the entire lifespan of the project. What was discussed way back in meeting number 2, the vision of it, the idea would have been lost along the way by the time you get to meeting number 60, right? And I want to make sure that the high level objectives are being met, and not only the vision is on track, but the timelines of it, the roadblocks of it, the prioritization of things are being effectively managed for all the team members involved in the project.
Okay, now the ideas are more clear. I was suspecting if this is an AI challenge. Now I'm sure most of it is a process related challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So what usually people tend to do unconsciously is they are trying to use new technologies to solve their own challenges, but it's not always the case.
Yeah.
AI can help you make decisions, but does not make the decisions for you. AI can help you keep track of this spoken data that you are. I can like suggest, like the easy suggestion is to transcribe those meetings. If you are on Teams, you can like use the recording and you have written data about what everybody said, and then you run NLP algorithms that will highlight the key words and key phrases. But honestly, I think this is a more of process, who are the people you are talking to. In a project, a lot of people wants to be involved, but at some point you need to shut down those doors. I only need like 2 people in this meeting, and then there will be meetings about meetings and emails about emails. This is a more of a process challenge, and it's part of this program, and this is part of the leadership program. But I'm afraid, Rama, this is like you cannot really solve it with AI, but you can solve it through your leadership skills. And in here, in my new job, I met like great product owners, and they were like, we need only 1 or 2 meetings, and the rest of you are out. Because if you start having meetings about meetings, emails about emails, you are failing.
Yes.
So in here, I can only say, please ignore the AI part. You have a process challenge and focus on how to redesign that process. For me, I will kick out the people who are not concerned with what you are currently doing and keep it to the minimum. Minimum meetings, minimum emails, and a small team.
Got it. Would AI be able to assist me identifying the problems? And yes, the people are the ones making the decisions to create more nimble organizations.
I think in here it's more of a leadership challenge, not an AI challenge.
So, again, to add what MK is saying, because in a meeting you talk about project, you talk about finance, you talk about HR, you can talk about staffing. There are multiple factors which are coming in. So which area you are capturing, which area you're talking about, which area you're trying to see my metrics, we have to predefine all that beforehand itself.
Yeah.
So as you are giving this particular case, that like the case where I have meeting 1, meeting 2, they talked about a vision in terms of project, vision in terms of technology implementation, vision in terms of infrastructure, vision in terms of finance. I'm like, there are multiple visions there, right? So we have to categorize like and see what is that you're looking for. That's what even MK is saying, like your problem statement is more generic.
Okay.
So we have to condense that such a way and only use that specific information. And of course, net creating a minutes of meeting is very simple way.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You have made my thoughts like I wanted to express that way, but I think you have expressed in a better way. Sai, am I pronouncing?
Yes, you're right.
Thank you, Sai. Now we will go to Mohammed question. So please, Mohammed, the floor is yours.
Yes, so I have two questions, and doesn't have to be answered right away. You mentioned in the beginning that hopefully by the end of this class course, we will be implementing what we're learning in our experience. So if we felt that the project that the group actually started on does not fit that goal, could we have some better project outside of the group that could be graded, or will be not something we should consider?
I don't think that will be part of the program because like in module 1, as a group, you have like talked with each other, networked a little bit. You have identified between 3 to 5 projects, and then you must have voted on what to continue to. I'm sure like some individuals in the group will be more lucky because it's more suitable for their current like work. But this is how this program goes. It can't like satisfy everyone. But Mohammed, I can assure you, if you have like specific things you want to talk about in your own profession, you can always just send me a DM, and I will try to go through with you the things that you didn't have the chance to discuss with your teammates. I'm here for that.
Sounds good. And the other question, and this should be fast too. I don't know from your experience if you dealt with a startup situation where they have to finish a project on time, or they just put a set time. And if there is any AI or software could help us with a specific startup that our startup is in gaming, and it's AI, it's an AI VR AR technology. And I could send you the link just to kind of maybe get around it. Did you ever had an experience in launching such a thing? Or do you have a suggestion for some softwares that could help us with that?
For gaming, that's not my background, but for helping startups with their AI product, yes, I did that in healthcare and in finance and few other stuff. But gaming, honestly, no. But
so
like
maybe we could implement any software startup on the gaming too, you know, to a certain extent.
Yeah, but the gaming, you need like to have a hub, like you need to be part of. You need to be related to a certain technological hub. Like you can start it in Canada easily. You can start it in the US easily because
we already actually got in partnership with T-Mobile and Qualcomm. So I mean, we got it like last month. So, but I mean, and they're gonna have their own work. But I just want to come up with my own maybe software to finish the project is even faster than they expected, and hopefully we could just go further.
This is a very we can have.
We don't have to take everybody's time here, but I mean just something maybe I could email you on the side, and if you have any suggestions, I would really appreciate that.
I can answer part of it. You talked about augmented reality, and you talked about virtual reality, and
mainly right now it's actually augmented reality, but it has a lot of AI. I'm not an AI person, but I mean it has a lot of AI embedded in the whole thing.
Yeah, that's not an easy use case, but I think computer vision and NLP can really assist you with the VR and AR. So they can interact with gamers in real time and enhance the user experience. At least that's what I can say for now, because I need to know what the game is really doing to give you a tailored answer. But of course, you can like DM me with the specifics. I'll try. Yeah, I will try to do my research before getting back to you. So it may take a little bit of time because gaming is not my background, but I will try to do the research before answering.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So who do we got next?
I am nobody, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we only have about 9
2
minutes
minutes.
left, but if there's no other questions and people are interested in just doing a really quick breakout for 10 minutes and just 2 or 3 smaller groups, we can do that. Or if you would just like to end the call early, next week's event with Vish, he will be leading the question and answer session, and we can always go ahead and just make sure that it's split between questions and the networking if people are really looking for an opportunity to network outside of their groups.
And that meeting is on the 23rd, yes?
No, the 23rd is the mid-course event.
Oh,
And then the next learning facilitator session is on, let me check, it's either the 25th or 26th. Let me pull it up real quick. So I give you the,
sorry. Okay.
just a moment.
It's 26,
Yeah, so while-
Katie.
Oh, yes, thank you. We've got a lot of events next week. Yeah, so next Thursday, the 26th of May at 7 a.m. Eastern, which is noon UTC. And, or no, excuse me, that's 11 a.m. UTC and noon British Standard Time.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, excellent. Thank you everybody for being with us today. Hope I have answered your questions, but if you still have like other specifics to communicate for me to give you a more tailored answer, please do not hesitate to share them. And I also emphasize on posting those questions too on Times Square so we can all have a discussion about it. Otherwise, I will give back the word to Kathy again, and thank you for being with us today.